Ancient symbols you didn't know were dangerous. Take a good look at this symbol. What do you see? For thousands of years, in cultures stretching from India to Indonesia, this was a sacred sign. Its name actually comes from the Sanskrit word for well-being. It stood for good fortune, the sun, and even the footprints of the Buddha. For at least 6,000 years, it was a symbol of pure positivity. And then, in 1920, it was chosen. A man named Adolf Hitler was searching for a powerful emblem for his new political party, and he twisted it. He slapped it in the center of a red flag, and in that moment, one of history's most cherished symbols of luck became the world's most potent emblem of pure hatred. The swastika was corrupted. While it still holds its positive meaning in many Eastern cultures today, in the West, its message of well-being was poisoned by an undeniable link to genocide and terror. The story of the swastika is a chilling warning that symbols are not set in stone. Their meanings can be hijacked, flipped upside down, and turned into weapons. You'd be shocked to learn how many other symbols, ones that stand for justice, light, and even life itself, have been twisted into modern emblems of danger and pure evil. Today, we're digging into the secret histories of these symbols. What you've always thought was safe might just have a much darker story than you ever imagined. Section 1. The Fasces. Picture this: ancient Rome, the heart of a republic that would shape the entire Western world. When a powerful magistrate walked through the city, he was led by an official carrying the emblem of his power. That emblem was the fasces, a bundle of wooden rods bound tightly together by leather straps, often with a bronze axe head sticking out of the middle. Now, this wasn't just some decorative staff. It was a powerful symbol of Roman authority. The message was crystal clear. A single rod, fragile. You can snap it over your knee. But when bound together, those rods become unbreakable. It was a perfect visual metaphor for the Republic's core idea: strength through unity. The axe? That represented the magistrate's ultimate power over life and death. The fasces meant order, justice, and the collective might of the state. This symbol of Republican values was so respected that it was later adopted by other nations, which is why you can find it carved right behind the speaker's podium in the U.S. House of Representatives, a detail that was put there long before the symbol took a darker turn. For almost 2,000 years, that's what it meant. But in the early 20th century, its meaning was violently hijacked. Over in Italy, a rising political figure named Benito Mussolini was building an aggressive nationalist movement. He needed a symbol that screamed Roman glory and projected absolute strength. He found it in the fasces. Mussolini took the ancient word for bundle, fascio, and named his movement the Fascist Party. He brought back the fasces not as a symbol of justice, but as an emblem of totalitarian control. In his hands, strength through unity no longer meant citizens coming together in a republic. It meant the individual being completely crushed by the all-powerful state. The bound rods and axe now symbolized state violence and brutal oppression. The symbol that once stood for law and order became forever linked with dictatorship and terror, giving the modern world one of its most frightening words: fascism. Section 2. The Sonnenrad. Deep in Germany, there's a castle called Wewelsburg. In 1933, it was bought by Heinrich Himmler, the unbelievably sinister head of the Nazi SS. Himmler planned to make this castle a grand ceremonial center, a twisted sort of Vatican for his ideology. And in the floor of one of the main towers, he had a dark, ornate mosaic installed. It was a wheel with 12 crooked spokes, radiating out from the center. Today, we know it as the Sonnenrad, or the Black Sun. Now, the Nazis didn't invent this symbol. Its design is a variation of the ancient sun wheel, or Sonnenrad, which is found in different forms all across Old Norse and Germanic cultures. These sun wheels were powerful emblems. They represented the sun, the turning of the seasons, and cosmic order. They were meant to be symbols of life, light, and the natural rhythms of the world. Totally positive, life-affirming icons. But inside Wewelsburg Castle, Himmler and the SS gave the Sonnenrad a new, secret, and deeply dangerous meaning. While its exact origins are debated by historians, Many believe the design was intentionally constructed from 12 Sieg runes, the same rune the Nazis used to symbolize victory in the logo for the SS. For Himmler, the Black Sun was a mystical source of power for the Aryan race, a hidden symbol of a new world order built on racial supremacy. After Nazi Germany fell, the swastika was banned in many places. So, extremist groups that wanted to carry on that hateful ideology needed new, less obvious symbols. They found the perfect one in the Sonnenrad. Because it had been used privately by the SS, it wasn't widely known, which allowed neo-Nazis and white supremacists to use it as a kind of secret handshake. Today, the Black Sun is one of the most common symbols used by these hate groups around the world. A beautiful ancient symbol of the sun was dragged into the shadows, becoming a modern emblem of racial hatred. Section 3. The skull and crossbones. If there's one symbol we all know means danger, it's the skull and crossbones. We see it on poison bottles, on chemical warnings. It's an instant, no questions asked signal to stay away. But the journey this symbol took to get on that warning label is a long and fascinating one, and its original meaning was much, much deeper. For centuries, the skull and crossbones was actually a memento mori, which is a Latin phrase that means, remember you will die. In medieval Europe, you'd find it on tombstones and in religious art. The point wasn't to scare people, but to remind them of their own mortality. It was a quiet call to live a good and meaningful life, because death is inevitable. Alchemists also used it to represent transformation, the death and rebirth of materials in their experiments. It was a symbol for deep thoughts, not immediate threats. The first big change came during the golden age of piracy in the 17th and 18th centuries. Pirate captains like Black Sam Bellamy started flying black flags with the skull and crossbones. This flag, the Jolly Roger, was pure psychological warfare. It took the skull and crossbones from a quiet reminder of mortality and turned it into a terrifying promise of a violent death for anyone who even thought about resisting. It wasn't about thinking about your eventual end. It was about meeting it right now, at the hands of outlaws. The final step in its transformation came with the industrial age. As dangerous chemicals became common, people needed a universal symbol for poison. In the 1800s, New York State mandated that all poisonous substances had to be labeled, and the skull and crossbones was chosen for the job. Its reputation from the pirate era had already cemented it as a symbol of death. And just like that, it was official. A symbol that once asked people to think about their soul was now just trying to save their body, its philosophical meaning flattened into a stark sign of pure hazard. Section 4. The torch. From the ancient Olympic flame to the Statue of Liberty lifting her lamp, the torch has been a universal symbol of light, hope, and truth for thousands of years. Torches lit the way, representing enlightenment and progress. They were beacons in the dark, symbols of community and the triumph of knowledge over ignorance. For most of human history, a lit torch was a profoundly positive thing. But like every other symbol we're looking at today, this beacon of light has been used to cast some of history's darkest shadows. The torch's flip from a symbol of hope to one of terror is all about its use by mobs and hate groups. This corruption is seen most chillingly in the imagery of the Ku Klux Klan. For the Klan, which rose up in the US after the Civil War, the torch wasn't for lighting the way. It was for intimidation. Nighttime marches with burning torches became a key part of their campaign of racial terror against African Americans. The light that once symbolized hope was now a weapon used to create fear and threaten violence in the dead of night. And they weren't the only ones. In the 1930s, the Nazi Party also used massive torch-lit parades for their propaganda rallies, creating an intimidating spectacle to show off the regime's power and crush any dissent. More recently, we've seen this tactic revived by modern white supremacist groups, like at the infamous rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, where marchers carried tiki torches in a deliberate, chilling echo of those KKK and Nazi processions. In their hands, the torch is a weapon. It's a declaration of menace, a symbol of mob violence, and a frightening reminder that one of our oldest symbols for light can be easily used to spread nothing but darkness. The journey of these symbols from light to dark is a powerful lesson in how easily ideas can be corrupted. History is full of these hidden stories, and if you want to uncover more of them, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the past. And if you learned something new here, hit that like button. It really helps us continue making more videos like this one. Conclusion. From the swastika's message of well-being to the fasci's meaning of justice, from the Sonnenrod's celebration of the sun to the torch's beacon of hope, we've seen how symbols of protection, spirituality, and unity were systematically twisted into icons of hatred, tyranny, and terror. Their stories show us that the meaning of a symbol is never really fixed. Its power, for good or for evil, is all about the hands that hold it. It's a chilling reminder to always question the signs and symbols we see around us, because they might be hiding a dangerously different meaning right in plain sight. Now, we want to hear from you. What other symbols do you know of that have a dark or twisted history? Share their stories down in the comments below.